welcome back. I'm talking about our last segment for today. Actually, we always hear a statement that says Egypt is the mother of the world. We hear this a lot, but some people believe that this is because definitely Egyptians love Egypt and they feel Egypt is inside them. But the point is that now we understood that these are not only words or words by Egyptians, but it has a deep origin going back to history, in religion. It has its deep meaning, and it was mentioned by God. So let me discuss it in some more details. Today we have the pleasure to have with us Dr. Ismail Hamid. He is a religious historian. I think he has a lot to tell us today. Good morning, Doctor.
Morning, morning.
Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
Yes, if you can please elaborate on the religious as well as the historic background of this.
Morning, and thank you for your invitation. Surely that, as you said before, that lots of people, when you tell them about Egypt as the mother of the world, Dunya, what is the meaning of this? They say, when I talk with some Arab friends, I talk about this. This is just a nomination or a name that you created it to be proud, or to have more pride and to be more proud about your country, but we have no origin of this. So for that, I would like to find or to explore deeply the origin of this. So because also of my work and the old books with the works of the old historians, so I found in maybe about 20 old historian books a tradition, a very important tradition that was narrated by Ibn Abbas radiallahu anh, the companion and the cousin of Prophet Muhammad. That tradition, it is saying on all books. I talk about the book of Al-Makrizi, about the book of Asyuti and Al-Qudai, Ibn Iyas, Ibn Tagribardi, Ibn Zulaq, Ibn Al-Kindi, Ibn Abduzar, and we have lots of great historians that they told us about this tradition. So Masraim, he was the grandson of Nuwe. He is Masraim, son of Ham, son of Nuwe. Masraim, he is the one that Egyptians, they belong to him by their names. And also in some tradition, they call him Misr or Masraim. So when he wanted to come to Egypt, he went to his grandfather and he asked him to supplicate Allah for his blessing and his sons. So he went to his grandfather Nuwe, and then he supplicated to Egypt. What is the tradition? He said that Allahumma barik fihi wa fi zurriyatuh wa askinu al-ardh al-mubarakah allati hiya al-bilad wa ghawsu al-ibad waj'al nahraha afdal anhar ad-dunya waj'al fiha afdal al-barakat. That is the old tradition, which is a common one in most of the old books. So, so may God bless him and his children. And Zuriyatu, or his children, it means the Egyptians. So this is also a kind of blessing for all the Egyptians, for their grandfather who is Misraim. Allahumma barik fihi waskinuhu al-ardh al-mubarakah. So may God make him live in the blessed land. Allati hiya al-bilad, which is the mother of the world. That we talk about Egypt. So Egypt is the mother of the lands or mother of the world. That is the origin that we have it and we use it till now, and lots of people, they don't know the origin of this.
Yes, and why do we have this misconception about the mother of the world and mother of the nations? Where did this misconception come from?
Of what?
Instead of the mother of the world,
yes,
mother of the nations.
The tradition itself, it said al-bilad. It means mother of lands or mother of countries. Okay, so we talk about the service, the land itself, not of the people. Okay, so but also that is meaning the same. But when you say mother of nations, I think it does not give the same conception as we say mother of lands or mother of the world. So we talk also about the place of the whole world. So Egypt is the origin of this.
From history as well, just as you mentioned, it is important also to understand, because many people, just as you said, they don't understand from where did we get this.
Yes, I would like to complete just the tradition, and may God make him live. Askinu al-arda, the blessed land, al-ard al-mubarakah, which is the mother of the lands or mother of world. Mother of the lands or mother of countries. This is what we still use it in our national hymn until now. Misr ya dunya. So we have Masr ya bilad. We have this even in our national hymn. التي التي تحمي البلاد وغوث العباد. So it is the savior land of all the people. So wherever in the history happened, whenever happened a famine in all the countries, so Egypt is still prosperous country. So in Egypt it's rarely to hear about a story of famine. And even the famine that happened during the time of Joseph, Prophet Joseph, it became as a time of grace for Egypt, and all people, they needed Egypt and they come. So even in the holy books, we know the story of Jacob, Sayyidina Yaqub, when he asked his sons to come to Egypt to look for the wheat and for the gods of Egypt. In that time of the famine. وَغَوْسُ الْعِبَادِ. So, وَجْعَلْ نَهْرَهَا أَفْضَلْ أَنْهَارِ الدُّنْيَا. So may God make its river to be the best of all rivers. And that also one of the graces of our Nile. And we know that Prophet Muhammad, when he went in Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj, okay, on heaven, crossed Sidrat al-Muntaha, he saw 4 rivers in the paradise. 2 rivers on the land, that they are the Nile and the Euphrates, and Nil wal Furat. And the other rivers that they are on heaven itself, Sayhan and Jayhan. That as is mentioned on the correct tradition of Prophet Muhammad. وَجْعَلْ نَهْرَهَا أَفْضَلْ أَنْهَارِ الدُّنْيَا وَجْعَلْ فِيهَا أَفْضَلِ الْبَرَكَاتِ. So may God both the greatest graces in this land. That is the tradition that is which is have that content of the origin, the religious origin of Mother of the World. Also, completed to this, we know that Prophet Abraham, when he came to Egypt, he was offered from the Pharaoh Hagar, the Egyptian woman. And because his first woman, Sarah, she lived till more than 80 years and she did not give him a son. So she proposed to Abraham to marry the Egyptian girl Hagar. So Hagar gives Abraham Ishmael, who is the father of Arabs. So the Arabs, they are called the Ishmaelites, or the sons of Ishmael. So he is the grandfather, and surely that his mother should be the mother of the Arabs. Also, we have also that connection with the religious origin about that Egypt is the mother of the world from the religious point of view. About the history, surely that we have lots of things that we should say or we can say about that. If we talk about the history, Egypt is, as we know, the first history in the world, in the history of the man. Egypt is the first civilization. Also, what is the difference between civilization and history? About the documents. History, it means after the creation of the writing. Civilization, it could be before the writing. So it's not necessary to have a writing. So it is something of this. So, as the oldest history, the Egyptian history. The oldest alphabet of the man, the Egyptian alphabet. And if you look at a map with the alphabet of Egyptians, it is similar to the Latin and to the Greek letters that they still use. Also Egyptian, they invented this. And the oldest civilization of the man, Egypt is the cradle of civilization. So we talk about 5000 BC. At that time, 3,000 and 4,000 years before the birth of Europeans. They were living during that time in the caves, and Egyptians, they were building the pyramids and the great things. Also, they invented the sciences. They invented lots of things that we should be proud of this. But it's not enough to be proud of that history, but it should also continue to be as the or as the grandfathers of the Egyptians. So we have of this point of view, we have a religious point of view, and we have a historical point of view.
Yes.
I think this is very, very important. I'm ashamed of myself because even myself, many people, they do not know the origin of this, and this is something very, very important. I don't know who is responsible, but just we took it like this, and we thought that people are just saying words, and that is it.
I share you the same feeling, okay? But for me, myself, as a researcher, about 10 years ago, I have a special research about the origin of Mother of the World, and that is published in Al-Ahram. I make this. And most of my books, okay, I'm author of 37 books. Every time I put this tradition at the beginning. Dua Nuh, the supplication of Nuh for Egypt. And if you imagine this, Nuh alayhi salam, he is the 10th generation of man. He is number 10 from Adam. And he was the grandson of Idris or Enoch, who was the first prophet according to the traditions who was living in Egypt. Noah, he was the son of Lamech, the son of Methuselah, the son of Idris, the son of Yared, the son of Mihlail, the son of Kinan, the son of Enosh, the son of Shes, and the son of Adam. So he's the 10th generation of the beginning of humanity, and he was supplicating Allah for Egypt. And even also in the old books, we have also another supplication for Egypt from Adam, from Idris, from Abraham, from Joseph. And also I think the supplication of Joseph and for the security of Egypt. فَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا عَلَى يُوسُفَ آوَى إِلَيْهِ وَقَالَ ادْخُلُوا مِصْرَ إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ آمِنِينَ. That is a prayer from a prophet for Egypt.
Yeah.
Also the first land in the world or in the history of the man that was ruled by a prophet. Prophet Joseph, he was the king of Egypt, and for the first time, and it was 300 years before the kingdom of Solomon and David, when they became the rulers of their country.
Yeah, Doctor, I believe that we don't just need only one episode to talk about this, and we hopefully will have you definitely, and will dedicate more time to talk about this very interesting issue. Thank you so much, Dr. Ismail Hamid, an Islamic researcher. Thank you so much for joining us on The Breakfast Show.
Thank you very much, but at least we understood the origin today. Thank you all for joining us. Join us again tomorrow, same time on The Breakfast Show. But right now, if you want to you can follow up with us and stay tuned for more coming up on NAR TV International. Till we meet again, thank you for joining us, and bye.